Yo, how's it going? You having a good day so far? Gonna do the intro in a moment, just opening up Kofi. Sup, shredders? My name is Logan, aka Spider Hands, and welcome to an SB live streams where today is SB song requests number 21. Now, where if you for just $5, you can get a song requested, and we will review it, and we will listen through it on stream. And if we switch over to here, we have SoundCloud or Spotify set up. We also have Fish now, which is cool. It doesn't have to be a song that you like. It can also be a song that you personally want. I like something you've been working on. But either way, we are here. We are doing this for an hour to 2 hours, depending on how things go. Either way, I'm just going to do the music news now. And then if you're in the stream, feel free to say hi. You don't even have to you don't even have to be to request something. You just chat. You just hang out. It's all good. So good. But yeah, we've got this live stream now. There we go. I don't think that will go any smaller. Can that window go smaller though? It can go smaller. So what do we have in news today? The war and treaties. Michael Trotter Jr. recalls getting stabbed at age 12 in a gang. That was the turning point. Okay, that's a pretty heavy start to proceedings there from Billboard. All right. Donald Trump. Okay. All right. Well, maybe stay away from that situation there. Mariah Carey says mom Patricia and sister Allison died on the same day. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce star-studded bash with Blake Lively. The war and treaties. Tanya Blunt says she's appalled at Diddy allegations. Okay. Charlie XCX teases she's working on new projects, definitely the Bratosphere. So she's really kind of going into it now. She's really kind of like, I'm going into it. Sup, Jacob? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. What time is it for you over there? It is currently 12. It's actually noon, should I say. It's just hit noon over here. It's good to know that Taylor Swift approves of Charlie XCX. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that. It's been great to consistently do things that people appreciate. Well, hopefully it goes well for you today, Jacob. It's quite 8 a.m., man. That's good on you for dropping the kids off. It's awesome, dude. Yeah, it's been interesting with the bandmate stuff. It's positive. I'm hoping to do different bands like that and just see what people think. I think we'll be looking at The Warning this month, but we'll see how we go. Woman found dead during these news aren't very good vibes. Lizzo says she's taking a gap year. These stories aren't very good vibes. I don't like the vibes on these stories today. What has Rolling Stone got? Oh, Mariah Carey again. Sean Combs demands dismissal of vague sexual assault lawsuit from Love album producer. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. He's in a bit of trouble at the moment. There's a whole lot of heat on him at the moment. Watch Oasis play I Am the Walrus at final show before bitter breakup. Nah, don't wanna. Yep, more campaign trying to justify the use of it, even though they weren't okay with it. Martin Shkreli ordered to turn over copies of supposedly one-of-a-kind Wu-Tang album. His the look on his face. I don't know about you, but I don't necessarily like the look on his face. I think he does it on purpose, right? He does it to get a reaction, right? Is that the intent behind that? Charlie XCS is here for Kamala Harris's Brat campaign. Happy to help to prevent democracy from failing. Suga apologizes again for DUI scooter incident. I have tarnished the name of BDS. This is interesting. Oh. The musician was fined and had his license suspended after being stopped by police earlier this month. This Martin guy is smart haha on purpose. I thought so. You know that like the meme of the troll with the that kind of look on their face. I think he deliberately does it just to get a reaction, right? Does it just to get it into the name of just get a reaction. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah, it's not a good time. So this is a story I assume Rolling Stone will do quite well, and they're making you subscribe. And what was the fee for that? Yeah, it's like okay. So for me in New Zealand, that'd be about how much would that be? That's like $96 a year NZD. 96. I just don't know if I want to pay them nearly $100 a year to use it. They've got ads on their shit stuff, right? Have they? Am I allowing them? Oh no, I'm not. I'm not allowing them here. I will probably whitelist them. But then I don't think I'd be able to watch this anyways, right? I suppose that I would need to subscribe in order to be able to watch that, even if I did disable ads, or even if I did allow for ads. Lana Del Rey, Renee Rapp. Why would anyone pay for online subscriptions for music reviews? Music news, should I say? I don't know. Like for me, I think that that information is just so easy to access. It's yeah, because like a lot of people have similar information. The only way you'd really be able to sell it is if it was exclusive, right? Because if you're charging someone for something and then they can just go elsewhere to get it. It's really tricky. Like I feel bad for some of these companies because they are really struggling. They're really struggling to cope with how the internet is. They're really struggling. And a lot of these companies are very much they're ingrained and they don't want to change. And if they do try and change, they don't understand how they need to change. But exclusive news will just get easily copied from the sites. Exactly. They don't really have. In fact, they'd be more of a target if they are charging for it because people don't want paywalls. I don't know how they would possibly create a value proposition when there is so much when the market is, you know what I mean by perfectly competitive? Like when there are just so many people that can do similar things. If they had like someone specifically who was better at talking about the stuff than anything else, then that might be it. But the problem is that's YouTube, right? There are people who are more than comfortable showcasing their thoughts and opinions on YouTube and talking about things and showing this information in a way that will make it compelling. And people don't have to go searching for it. They just have their favorite content creator and they go and like there's this guy that I watch called June the King, right? And they're fairly non-partial with their stuff, and that's what I appreciate because, like, I don't know, like when you're doing a non-fiction documentary, you don't really want emotions necessarily put into it, right? I appreciate the stuff because of that, so I go to them, but I don't know if I would then go to 5 other content creators for a similar story, especially if I thought that I was going to get a lesser experience. And when I look through the stuff from Rolling News to Billboard, like, I can't help but feel the only reason that Billboard is on top is because they are top in the Google rankings, right? I don't necessarily see a specific benefit from Rolling Stone or Billboard over each other. All these politics getting up in the way of good music. Yeah, I think that politics is there's a bit of an issue with politics. I think that in the mid 20th century, it was really important. Music was really important for politics. There are a lot of protest songs, right? There's now so many musicians making so many songs, right? That you run into this issue where it's almost like you suffocate because of the overload of information. Like there's just so much being put forward that even if something is quite shocking, most stuff is being made to be shocking. So you inadvertently end up not really receiving much benefit at all, even though there's so much more. I mean, I'm trying to focus on the positives of these live streams. I think that it's great that we have these platforms. I just don't know how I don't want to give Rolling Stone $100 a year for this. I would rather if I could just figure out how to allow ads. Can I enable? I don't know how to do it for this website. I don't know. I'll figure it out in post. But like, I think, see, there's 11 ads blocked on this page. I don't know if you can see that. And I don't have an issue with ads. The whole idea of how YouTube works is that you have to have ads to make ad revenue. YouTube's built on ads, to be fair. So 11 ads blocked on this page, 21 trackers. Okay. So there are 21 whenever I load this website, there are 22 different things tracking me. I don't know if I like that. I would be okay with the ads, but I think the trackers are kind of gross. It just seems like a lot's going on there. And to be honest, when I look at the amount of that they're trying to get, they're trying to learn a lot about me when I visit this webpage, right? So I feel better not having that as being a part of the things that I have to deal with. Yeah, when I'm looking at the internet. But each to their own. It's cool. That's all right. But yeah, that's it. That is it. So we've got TLC cancel show after T-Ball's hospitalization. I mean that's not even like music related, right? Is this like Rolling Stone meant to be music related? It's like a music magazine, right? Post Malone's country debut, F1 Trillion, is the biggest album in the country. Yeah, I can get behind that. I think it's great that they're finding success, but this is also a subscribe now story, so I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna go away from that. I want to do this, but I don't want to be tracked. I don't want to be tracked. If I allow ads, do I also have to allow the tracking? Because I don't like that. I mean, to be fair, most websites track what you're doing. Yeah. That's like a normal thing, right? And to be fair, I haven't like gotten rid of my cookies in a while, so I should own that. Okay. That's cool. Okay. And then I don't know, music news. No, it's a very busy website, this one. Music news. Very, very busy. So many things. So many things. All right, I'm gonna get back to making some music. If you guys want requests, you put them in. I'm gonna work on some music in the meantime, all right? I feel like we've done enough music news for today. Okay, so what we got? Now, what I think that needs to be there is like an 808 or something like that. So I'm gonna put an 808 there and kind of get a bit of bass behind it. 808, do 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 do. And what kind of 808 do we want? Is this quite loud? This will be quite loud, I think. Oh no, it's this one, right? Yes, that needs to go down a little bit. Can we hear that though? MIDI inputs. No, we can't. Yeah, a bit more bass. Cool. We'll probably go put the bass in here. Yeah. There we go. Get that sub bass in there, baby. There we go. That's good. That's good fun. So. Boom, 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 ba dun 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 dun. Wow, 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 wow. Then I think we need like kind of like some atmosphere or something like that in there because it feels a bit kind of dry there. A little bit dry there. So what do we got here? That is a nah. We'll go down. We'll go for an atmosphere synth there. Like encode. Got that. Go. That should hopefully be enough bass anyways, is like here. Nah, it's a bit chaotic, eh? Here we go here. Kind of sounds like it's gonna be like a hardcore track or something like that, right? Like here. Why is it arpeggiating though? I don't want it to arpeggiate. No, I don't want it to arpeggiate. So we're gonna go back here and then. Okay, maybe just like maybe it's like flip that one. That there. The dark synth's a bit weird. Yeah, fair. Shinyida, hello, good morning. Number 20 has been got copyright blocked. Waiting on YouTube to trim the bit out. Yeah. We could probably switch up that synth for something else, to be fair. We'll go for, I don't know. At least we've got like a pattern there. You go, things. You got to save as well. Make sure you save. Ooh, that's kind of spicy. Oh, there we go. No. That eighth comes in like a little bit awkwardly. Go on, there we go underneath. Bow, bow, bow. So the moment we got this, right? I also actually want to add some hi-hats to this part. No, it needs to be like hi-hats. Where are the hi-hats again? I need to label these. So those are like kicks. That's weird snare. And I've just realized you can't see this, can you? Aha. Aha, now you can see it. Excellent. Bum 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 ba da dun dun da da dun da da dun 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 da da dun dun dun. Maybe we'll kind of like add like a bit of color into that high end there. Get like, I don't know, like a lead synth or something. So boom. And on lead. Which one are we on now? On this one. And that needs to get turned down a bit. How loud is that one in the mix? Okay. So go boom. Why? All right, it's gonna be on. Nah, definitely not that, but like we can figure it out. So we got woo, it's kind of cool. So we're just looking for like a lead to kind of color up the second round. Dun, 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 dun. Dum bum bum. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we're gonna get this. Cool. All right, we got a request anyways, though, from a Lukit fan. What do we got here? Got this. By the way, that's just what my email is saying. I apologize. Jacob, Jacob, where is Kofi? Orders, let's do it. Cool. No, I'm down for that. Let's listen to some beats. Always happy to listen to new beats. Thank you for the request, Jacob. Add this to the queue. So there's one. And what song is it? PG1. Oh, Rap of China emotional round. Good. So we'll find that. Get that stuff off. And Jacob. Off of that. Thanks for your request. There we are. All right, let's put the link in and listen to some PG1. Copy. Listening time. And we'll make it like small.
What's up? 你们有中二病吗？
The Rap of China. What's the name of the song? I'm just going to quickly sort of depel that. Depel. We can listen to it in the background as I do this.
The red flower.
Middle child. Cool.
Round one, lady, go. 藏在我的构念当中，头脑开始发懵。我的超能力提醒我，有些事将马上发生，和我还有工资要干。路不开白的，每当偶尔才来看。
I remember PG1 for sure.
所以要就是我的 homie 读版的 PG 顺便带上去，当然还有买 Snoopy 让他跟我叫鸡三只满足我的胃，吃完当然要散步，索隆已被我灌注。但酒量不行，一定要喝个不停。但没吃过蛮算数的，叫我狮子狗狗烦恼疯。如果这点流我肯定全搞疯。加入苦练会，毕竟大呼变空，鸡再不敢继续我老公。见我像笑脸，发力就练。Don't worry， 口令我马几个奶，偶尔我看不上猫。该加上金闪闪样变。小心我管着谣言没，我背着像烧一样硬。他们都叫我中二病，铠甲像金闪闪样冰。小心我管着谣言没，我背着像烧一样硬。I'm a psycho, 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 yeah, I'm a psycho, 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 哦嘞我 psycho。这样的事情要重复3遍，才能回一个 level。老子有爱你路的脸呀，后期面的是一件。
Oh, that 808 is so groovy, dude.
不用崩开山如麻的钢木剑吧，就算你有钢筋铁壁，真气过可以让你变假。我有着丰功伟绩和嘎嘎是神秘的面，让咱明白想象，在我可是一直在播。我知道我有中二情绪在播。可他们弱小的我看到就想笑，力量明明摆在眼前，但就是找不到。老子是反派，要忏悔，别跟着让他们参败，公然下所有的板块，政策我就是要反带，老子要把这个扭曲的、丑陋的、虚伪的次元撕裂。请原谅我的任性，错的不是我，错的是这个世界。So call me 最后的大魔王 ，So call me 最后的大魔王 ，So call me 最后的大魔王。So call me everybody, let's go. What? 他们都叫我中二病。
Great.
再加上金闪闪样病，小心我管着谣言没，我背着像烧一样硬。他们都叫我中二病，再加上金闪闪样病，小心我管着谣言没。我背着像烧一样硬，他们都叫我中二病。
Excellent. I love the raw aggression within that. We are not screwing around. That was PG1 from the Rap of China titled, I think the song's titled Middle Child. I love it. What I think the track is about, I should be about their frustration given their vocal performance about being a middle child. I think the flow throughout this track was phenomenal. Maybe it talked about their, who were they sort of like listened to growing up, like Dr. Dre and like Snoop Dogg and everything like that. The way, yeah, it was so authentic with the expression. I think that the words came through clearly. There was great use of vocal fry there. The rhythmic patterns and phrasings were dope as well. It never got stale. Great use of time. You know, it was nice to also allow space for the beat as well. I like the vocal modulation within this piece. I like the lower octave tunings and stuff like that as well. I thought it added a great sense of kind of depth to the vocals and just sounded really cool. And those build parts there. Jacob, you mentioned the beat design really elevated the track, and he really eliminated the other competitors in his round. I'm not surprised by that. I thought it was tremendous. We've got a musician here that really does do their utmost to sort of speak their truth, but it's also the fact that they sit on such a groovy sounding beat. I love the instruments that we had in there, those sort of edgy kind of lead synths there, almost trancey sounds there, combined with the kind of clickish kind of trap drums. Right, I get it. The song, it's a reference to all the greatest anime characters and how he's better than them all. Damn, okay, I get it. Never mind, I misunderstood. That's dope. That's cool. That's a cool thing to talk about. Yeah, no, it's very affronting. It's very confrontational. He's really trying to lay down the law. So I appreciate the aesthetic behind that. I thought it was really meant. It's cool. I think that, again, the use of the 808s, how authoritative they are, they're sort of not just sounding cool, but also work well within the track. We've got, again, the kicks have a great tone to them as well, and there's a mixture of different sort of 8th and 16th note grooves there, as well as some interesting triplet patterns. The theme itself iterates upon itself of variations and sort of like riser synths that we have in parts there to kind of build things up. Ultimately, it's a song where you leave at the end of the day feeling quite glad that you were there for it. And I think that they definitely the interaction with the crowd was stellar. The studio production was absolutely top notch. It was commercial grade. It sounded incredible. The EQing on the different parts of the kit, the filtering of them, the how things were around the stereo field, especially the double tracking of vocals and the filtering of those and the hook sections were wonderful there. And yeah, it was great. It just sounded dope. So yeah, thank you, Jacob, for putting that track through. You know, clearly PG1 is a solid rapper, and I understand why they were so successful within this round. Yeah, the little, you mean like the Foley sounds and stuff like that as well. See, that just adds further dimensionality to it, doesn't it? It can be really cool when you add bits of like sounds of different like natural parts to sort of like kind of build the mood and ambience there. You can imagine the person in the rain telling their story, getting ready to sort of like screw fuck things up, and it's dope. Like a storm's about to be coming, you know. Awesome. That was dope. That was awesome. That was great. I had a good time with that. Yeah, there's some really incredible rappers out there, eh? You know, like I think people have been going between rappers dead and rappers revived for a while now, and I think that there's clearly talent out there, people trying to make the most of the genre, and I've shown some love for that, you know. It sounds really heavy. I didn't really want to make a beat like this. I initially wanted it to be a lot more kind of upbeat than this, but we didn't really get there in the end. We were gonna try and find like a colorful one, eh? I kind of like that there. Maybe we could like kind of have that there. Like have that go. Okay, so we'll go with that then. And we'll go here. Dun bam dun 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 dun. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll go like recently. You could probably like phase these and filter these to make them wider as well. I reckon probably add like what was it? There was a which one? Polyverse, right? So go eh. Dun dun dun. So there needs to be like a little bit like hi-hats there as well. I think in the latter half there. I think these are the hi-hats here. Remembering, of course, this is still a live stream where you can request tracks if you want. Wow, okay. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you guys just put through a few requests. I apologize. It's okay. We're doing it. We didn't do them. I just get a bit carried away. Thank you to Jacob as well for the previous request. I've also got thanks Shin Dar as well as Paul7931. So let's have a look at those. Yeah, we got. Yeah, there we go. So done that one for Jacob. Yeah, there we go. And then next one is from Shin Da. Thank you, Shin Da. What does Shin Da have for us today? Yeah, it's good to just assume that, like, if it's not on the channel, that it's been copyright blocked. Just because YouTube is great like that. But it's also comes with the territory. We know this at this point. That YouTube can be like that, and that's fine. It's just what it is. So what is this? So this is Hold On All Night, apparently. What do we got? No, this is Hold On. Can I go back to that and get like this part of it? You credits. Yeah, Hold On All Night. There we go. And then perform date. And all right, there we go. Cool. We're getting there. All right, let's go. Let's hear it. So what track have we got from Shin Da? Hold On All Night. Thank you for your request, Shin Da. I feel nostalgic for this for some reason.
I'll be your side whenever you cry, just to show you how I care about you, just to tell you what life really is so nice. I'll be with you whenever you smile, just to show you how it's light up my life. You should know my eyes will never lie. Coming from my heart, a music rise. Only you and I, dancing on the rainbow, feeling like higher and higher over the sky. We fly.
I like English locals as well.
Hold on all night. Don't ever give up till the feeling die. Give me your love tonight. Hold on all night. Don't stop and let your passion burn shine. Keep the hope in your mind. We are ready for paradise. I'll be with you whenever you smile, just to show you how it light up my life. You should know my eyes will never lie.
Great use of call and response there. Well done.
My heart, a music rise. Only you and I, dancing on the rainbow, feeling like higher and higher over the sky. We fly. Hold on all night. Don't ever give up till the feeling die. Give me your love tonight. Hold on all night. Don't stop and let your passion burn shine. Keep
Great sense of joy behind this track, actually. Eh?
we are ready for paradise.
Wonderful pattern there. Good job.
Don't ever give up, don't let feelings die. Give me your love tonight. Hold out all night. Don't stop and lay your patient body shine.
I want to fade out at the end. How classy. Oh, dude, we had a fantastic shred solo at the end. You could hear it in the fade out. Because that was Hold On All Night from... Let me just detail that. Thank you for Shinyuda for that. I appreciate listening to get through in that. Oriental Express. Cool. I think, first of all, this just track, I'm glad it was in English, not because I feel like I'm obligated to have stuff in English to listen to, but because I think that if you are trying to branch out and expand your audience, doing that is really smart. They sung really well in English, and I got most of the words through really clearly, and it just felt really joyous. It felt like they were talking about holding on all night and going to paradise and stuff like that. There was a sense of hope and optimism from not only the vocals, but also the combination of the various guitar, bass, and drum parts. And you just had this overall theme that was uplifting and kind of majorish there. And it's very difficult to do that in a way that's not cheesy sounding, but I think they managed to accomplish that quite well here. So it's testament to their skill as musicians, but also as singers, to not only sing really well with really great vocal technique there, the great enunciation of the words, but it just also a great sort of flavor and energy about it. It was kind of, it had like a effervescent kind of youthfulness to it that I appreciated there. I think they handled themselves really well on the mics, and they sung with a passion that I can appreciate. I think it suited the tone of the track really well. The guitar parts were enigmatic. Wait, hang on. No. I've learned that is not the way you use that word. That is not the meaning of that. Really exciting. There was a great tone to the. Have we ever done any Wagaki band? I don't think so, Jeremy. I could be wrong though. I wouldn't mind listening to some Wagaki band at some point though. But we'll just see how things go. People are wanting me to check stuff out. I'm more than happy to place a request via Ko-fi, and we'll get to listen to it, which will be good. Either way, it's all chill. What do we got? I think there was a wonderful guitar solo in this piece there, as well as some interesting call and response patterns between the vocals and the lead guitar there, which was really well voiced there. It had like kind of distorted, bluesy, kind of rocky, kind of very melodic tone to it. They're very colorful, great legato technique there. And it had a great sort of personalities and old lead that made it kind of really interesting to listen to. It was full of joy as well, typically revolving around the majors, even with the kind of bluesy kind of patterns there. The drums were nice and tight as well there. They were full of energy and they kept the beat flowing at quite a pace there, enough to kind of get you to kind of groove and dance along to, the bass line being nice and refined in the low end. And ultimately there was like a reverb and sort of glow to this track was suggested. It was like from, it was 1991 this was released. So it does sound like a 1980s, 1990s project, like a just before the grunge period really sort of like kicked in there. And I adore the way it sounds. I think it was really fragrant and the mix was tight and I enjoyed it. So thank you to Shinyuda for putting this track forward. It did have a sense of romanticism about it. And I like that they made it true to themselves without sort of overdoing it. But that was this track titled Hold On All Night. What have we got next in the queue? What other requests do we have today? We have one from... Did I break it? We've got quite a few, actually. Thank you to Paul for the next one. What kind of music does the Wagaki band do, by the way? Because sometimes we get requests through, and it's very interesting to hear the different kind of music that people are into. Now, to be fair, I've got to give Paul credit. Excuse you, Spotify. It's okay, Spotify. Just chill for a moment. So this is from Paul. Thanks for your request. Here we go. And this track is, again, titled, it's Griffo. And what's the name of the song? So with a look. Ultra realistic eco bottle. That's kind of dope. That's a really interesting name. So worth a look with a mix of traditional modern instruments. Cool. Might do that at some point. I think for the next while, I'm probably gonna focus on like with the we'll talk about it later on. I'm probably gonna be doing a warning review this weekend, checking them out a bit more. There we go. Back to the start. Thank you, Paul, for your request. That cymbal work though is incredible, dude.
你的吉他，从一侧开始闭合，似有了景色，居民悄悄有了，踏着陌生的河，有重量的手刺着。看见了浪过雨河里的更美的颜色，听见了浪微弱的脉搏，天地合奏着。
Oh, and those guitars and that call response are fantastic, dude.
自然的光在存在着定着，无可无不可。
Sensational use of offbeats as well, man. Oh, that sub bass is tremendous though, right? That was great. That's awesome. That's a track from an act named Griffo titled Ultra Realistic Eco Bottle. Thank you to Paul for the request in this track. Now, what do I think it's about? I'm not entirely sure. how it relates to an ultra realistic eco bottle. I don't know if we necessarily needed it to relate to the title. I'm not sure what how the words are because I don't understand the language. But I really appreciated the vocals for a lot of it, especially near the end there. They were so beautiful. How they kind of sat and kind of they flew and kind of floated on top of everything going with the different guitar parts, the bass drums, and the synth motif that they were playing. It was so cool, man. It was gorgeous. A soft, lovely tone that contrasted with some of the more funkier, kind of forceful elements of the arrangement. I think that we showed great vocal technique and awareness that we weren't needing to be there the whole entire time. And I appreciate the fact that we were trying to sort of like I appreciate that we were trying to do to not be the focal point the entire time and allow the rest of the instruments to have their piece in the motif there. They handled that. I think that the singer did well, and they knew when they were most needed. The track, it's for me the focal point, the main sort of bit of sparkle within this was the combination of different sort of guitar, bass, drum, and key grooves. Granted, I don't think the keys were there in the beginning necessarily. We had a lot of interesting patterns on those drums. The hi-hat patterns there were exquisite. We had lots of interesting on and off beat patterns there, and we would play around with going on to twos and fours and sort of flipping and almost sort of polyrhythm kind of stuff. And I appreciate the fact that we were trying to be a bit spicy with that because, like I think that if you just stayed in 4/4 and kept the same groove the entire way, it wouldn't have nearly been as special. It makes it more mysterious and intriguing, kind of enthralling when you mess around with that. Sup, BM for Life? How you doing today? Welcome to the live stream. I think what we did here, which was really special as well, is we also had some really intriguing sort of funky guitar parts there, working well with those melodies in the mid range there, being a nice sort of bit of sparkle on top of all the kind of really slick stuff that was going on with the different snare, kick, and cymbal patterns there, all the kind of crazy technical rhythmic stuff that the drums were doing there. We found ways to not only do cool and responses with the vocal lines in a way that was productive. It was also just a situation where we had a nice contrast between some of the cleaner textures earlier on that added a sense of kind of sparkle and glow to the piece. When we went into those sort of parts a bit later on, they were more aggressive, but they were also kind of effective because of that, because you just had that fuller kind of like next level kind of element to it. And I like the fact that we tried to it could boost it more. We weren't just happy with the amount of incredible stuff we'd done at a halfway point. We were going to put it up even more to kind of be more of a sort of a constant layer for what the singer was trying to do later on in that chorus. And I think that and ultimately, the guitar, the bass line as well is quite funky. I've said funky quite a bit there, but just the movements between the octaves there, some of the sort of scale shapes and movements away from like just the root notes were kind of slick as well. We and then the synths, of course, we had like sort of a solo section in the middle there where it kind of had a real sense of groove to it, a really sort of distinct texture and timbre to it that made it stand out. And it was notched in the free spectrum in a way where it stood out. It had its own sort of range there, and the guitars weren't interfering too much. And we were able to sort of separate whilst keeping them like together, if that makes any sense at all. And I like the fact that we just had the talent, skill, and an awareness of all the different moving parts to be able to make that happen. It really is a kind of surreal, otherworldly experience that I had with the song, but I really appreciate what we were trying to accomplish with it, and I did think they did a tremendous job. So, the studio recording, mixing, mastering, the production was incredible as well. Thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly impressed with the effort they put in by the musicians involved. Like, honestly like commercial grade. It felt like an adventure, and I enjoyed it. So, thank you, Paul7931, for that request. I appreciate that. I will be right back. Be right back. I'll be right back in a moment, okay? Just gonna turn that off. Hello. Welcome. I am back. Can you see me? Probably not yet. It's a good. We are good. Yay! Because I was having a bit of an issue with the batteries, and I was like trying to make sure they would still behave themselves. Yep. Let's do it. Okay. What do we got? Are we good? We good? Nah, still a bit over on that side. All right, cool. We're fine now. We're back to it. Back small. All right, we've probably got some other tracks to do though, right? I think we've got some more in the queue. Yeah, thank you for Paul for that last one. Really appreciate it. Who have we got next? Okay, we've got a few here. We have got another one from Shin Yi Da, so that's cool. So I think we've got Shin Yi Da. This is, which this one? Got? Here we are. So this is from Shin Yi Da. What is this titled? Oh, that's very, very loud, but that's okay. We go Yoshiki Fukuyama, Fly Away. Let's do it. And then we've got
朝焼け広がる空に一羽の鳥が
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I thought that could apologies.
朝焼け広がる空に一羽の鳥が歌うどこまでも行くがいいお前を遮るもの
fantastic singer, right?
何もない I can fly away戦い続ける空に夢失う瞳もう泣かなくていいお前を奪えるものは何もない鏡に映った空に惑わされる瞳ただ一つがいる心の中の本当の空へ本当の空へ命輝く空へ Everybody Fly away, fly away 溢れる愛の風で Fly away, fly away 限りない自由へ Fly away, fly away 涙を抱きしめて Fly away, fly away 君はまた登るだろう巡る季節と希望に胸熱くなる限りただそれだけでいいそれが全てさ本当の空へ本当の空へ命輝く空へ Fly away, fly away
I mean, he's just so charismatic, isn't he? great trade-off between those two. Well done.
一羽の鳥が歌うどこまでも行くがいいお前の信じる道 Fly away Yeah
Excellent. Well done. Fantastic
あ
effort.
りがとうサンキューみんなすごい歌うまいぜ
That was awesome. Thank you to Shinyuda for recommending that we check out this track today from Yoshiki Fukuyama titled Fly Away. They're a fantastic musician. Like, their live performance, it was so captivating. The guy was incredibly charismatic the entire time as a singer. I'm not sure exactly what we were singing about, apart from flying away, but there was a sense of joy and passion and optimism about things there. And it was very, like, the vocal fry there, the range of, like, there was like a little bit of sort of like self-doubt for like the bridge section. We got a bit quieter. And then Fly Away, we came up again for that hook. And what I like about that is that there's so much, it's such clear communication how we feel, as well as like the different like elements of that. Because human beings aren't, we're not like one dimensional, right? There's like all these different thoughts we have about different things. And you kind of get the feeling of we're trying to get the courage to kind of rise out of our situation and to fly away. But, you know, we're not sure. But again, like we expressed ourselves really eloquently, very easy to sort of understand what's going on. Even we didn't necessarily understand the language itself or the story. And again, like fantastic sort of crowd rapport, though. The crowd knew the words Fly Away, letting the crowd sing it, letting them have their moment. Great back and forth there. As well as with the bass player when they did the guitar and bass, the guitar solo and bass part, when the bass player kind of came up and took up the mantle to kind of like back up lead on the lower mid end. It was tremendous, dude. It was fantastic. You know, we had a front man who was also able to give other people the spotlight that they deserved and needed as well. I mean, when you have such a full sounding arrangement with these guitar, bass, drum, and also key parts, every instrument is important alongside the lead guitar and vocalist as the main focal point there. The mixture of different powder quarter parts on the distorted guitars, they were rocking as hell, dude. And we had like various different sort of like harmonies and chord progressions within to keep each part of this kind of verse, bridge, chorus kind of structure interesting alongside an extended sort of solo section where the bass kind of came up and took the room where the rhythm guitar was. And we shredded, man. We had lots of different ideas for the phrasings within that solo there. It was a different type of lead than the vocals were, but they had their own personality to it, which I appreciate. So that was cool. I think that in addition to that, we had a general sense of, how do I describe it? It was that like every person on stage wanted to be there. You could tell that the bass player, especially when they came on that later section interlude, they really were there to sort of be there with the guitar player, and they kind of fed off of each other, and the bass lines became stronger, and we got a great sense of pace with that low end as well there. We were keeping time with the drums. Lots going on with the kit as well, with the interesting, like lots of hi-hats going on with the kicks and snares, and interesting 8th and 16th note grooves across the place. We came down tempo-wise near the end. We were able to play at whatever tempo we were required to. It was a very organic performance there. The whole band had a great chemistry, and it made it more of a big finish there, and I appreciate the fact they had sort of chemistry there. The organ player with the interesting glissandos occasionally sort of like complementing a lot of the chordal ideas that were going on with the guitar sections and providing a bit of a nice sort of more sort of spiritual kind of like a kind of a glow to that mid range there in the chord progressions there without trying to sort of like overdo it too much. It was a great sort of again, we were trying to celebrate the lead guitar and vocalist as the focal point of the mix without sort of saturating things too much. Again, the overall theme, like the chord progressions, especially the chord, as we said, like what we were trying to do with the vocals were upbeat and kind of charismatic and trying to sort of motivate us to take that chance and opportunity. And I got the impression from that from the music as well. And again, it was just a really fantastically captured live performance as well, studio production wise. So well done to Yoshiki Fukuyama, Flyaway, and thanks to Shinyuda for their request. I appreciated it. It was good. A great song. They had a lot of fun. They seemed very comfortable on stage, right? Yeah. So what do we got next? We have got another song from Shinyuda. So Shinyuda's next up. We've got one more. And this is a track here. Who is it? Who is this from? Arlen, A Kind of Sorrow. Okay. So this here, we talk about stuff potentially getting copyright blocked. This is potentially going to get copyright blocked. It might not. We'll see how it goes. But the first take videos, I need to just check if they are the ones getting blocked or not. Either way, it's cool. I'm looking forward to this. Thanks, Shinyuda. A Kind of Sorrow. It must be kind of nerve-wracking, eh?
お願いします。
Beautiful dress.
我不羡慕太阳，照不亮你过往。有些黑暗，我们都一样。我太嫉妒时光。 能离开的大方，不用开口，也就无需躲藏。有一种悲伤，是你的名字停留在我的过往。 陪伴我呼吸，决定我微笑模样，无法遗忘。有一种悲伤，是笑着与你分开，思念却背对背张望，剩下倔强。 剩下合照一张。
Great vocal control there and amongst everything else. Beautiful harmonics on the guitar as well. Oh. Is that it? Damn, that was a clean take. The first take. Alan, A Kind of Sorrow. What do we think this track is about? What do I think this track is about? I think it's about someone who remembers their ex, their ex partner, their ex lover, in a way which is it's just difficult. It provides them with warmth, like they appreciate the way it made them feel, but it also it's bittersweet because they're not together. And when they think of them, they just think of them together, and it's a difficult situation that they're having to sort of like process at the moment. And I appreciate what they're trying to, what she's trying to accomplish within this. Like, clearly, it's very personal for Island, but they communicate it so maturely. There is a sense of grace with both the vocal melodies in the chorus and verse sections. It's also um, that I think we're trying to sort of like illustrate our feelings about it, not just with like the way we sing and speak, but also with those vocal kind of like those melodic tales. We aren't necessarily saying words; we're more just another lead instrument in the mix. And I appreciate the fact that we take the time to not put more context in there. We're simply allowing the thoughts to sit, and we just have a beautiful alt lead to enjoy there. Um, yeah, absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, her voice is it's phenomenal. It is distinct, and I enjoy listening to it because we have solid vocal technique. But it's also the fact that um, we don't need to overcompensate. And I think that we didn't need to do any sort of like crazy moves here. It just sounded professional. We told the story we needed to. It was accessible and earnest, and I appreciated it. The vibe, it passes the vibe check. I can make sense of that. And regardless of whether, I mean, like I was reading the translations, but I think that, you know, it was solid. Like the track behind it, honestly, I spent more time than ever just sort of focusing on the voice there. If I go back a little bit and sort of just take some moments to just quickly review. So we start with piano motifs, and we have like a ballad format with like the bass and all the other kind of guitar, key, and guitar string elements. We move up as we go along. I think it's one of those situations where again the vocals take the focal point, and then you add more instruments in order to kind of further emphasize things. The feelings sort of swell up, and then you have that key change later on, which kind of brings things up and is quite sort of dramatic there. There are little moments of kind of sparkle like that, kind of quirky, that fancy little guitar look on the right side of the stereo field near the end. But there are also little like that, which was kind of technical and very kind of impressive actually. The flow of those legato passages on the lead there at the end, the kind of jazzy parts, but. It's also like the sound of the sub bass there, or the bass guitar there, the kind of pull on the low end there, the pulse there, the murmur, how it fills out the frequency spectrum because of how things have been EQ'd within this mix. It's the sound of the strings on the sides of the stereo field being so full of life and vigor that they don't swamp the mix, but they elevate it. It's the more, I think the instruments within this track are not just accompaniments, but they're there to set an environment because, again, specifically the focal point is the vocals there. They're the main point of interest there. And that's simply to keep you invested in the story that they're putting forward while sounding beautiful. It's an interesting song where I feel like if you'd had any alternate lead elements, it would have taken away from Arlen. I don't think it would have improved it to have had more compositional diversity arranged to this. And that is why when you have, like, again, those guitar leads or whatever, they're on the sides of the stereo field because they're deliberately staying away from the main where Arlen is. The studio production recording within this was absolutely tremendous. I think the key change is a staple of music within this genre. I think that it made sense to, with a longer track like this to have that, but I also feel as if this, no, actually, no, I think it would have been good. You would have needed an alternate lead. In addition to in addition to like or alternative to the key change in order to keep it interesting to a similar level. I mean, they made the switch they needed to. It made sense. It was gorgeous. So thank you, Shen Yuda, for that. Wonderful singer, nailed the take, clean. I really want that microphone. That is a cool microphone. I think that might be a U87. I'm not sure. Either way, it sounds wonderful. And there's a great crispness to the commercial tone of it. They always do such a fantastic job with the studio production and recording stuff within these takes. It must be a professional studio. I mean, like it would have to be for these people to be stepping through the door, you know, they'd have to be like $1 million studio. That'd be kind of quality assurance we're doing with these. But no, I've enjoyed my time with it. So I've actually got quite a few more tracks to do here. We've got more tracks than I had a moment ago. I don't know if it's because I'm sort of going more slowly through these or not. I don't think I am. I'm going to have to close commissions for today. Sup, Shredders? Thanks for the requests so far. I have now closed submissions for today. I will be the remaining tracks from who do we have? If I go to orders, who do we have? I just want to make sure I've got the right amount. Hey for life. And Paul. Never mind. Yeah, so we're actually having to close submissions now because I have work in about an hour and a half and I need to make sure I do these properly. I don't want to rush your requests. I want to give them each their time and I want to do it properly. So apologies for that though. But on the plus side, that means we've got 5 to go. So that's cool. So this later. Thank you to Shin Yuda for the previous one. Paul7931 says she is especially suitable for singing love songs. Absolutely. No, Island nails love songs for sure. We've got dinner. Hey, thanks for your request. Let's see what Dinner Hey has in store for us today. This is Hotel Lobby from Hikaru Utada, apparently. So that's kind of cool. Hey. This is kind of trippy, eh? It's kind of an experimental kind of tone, isn't it?
She rises with the sunset. She wonders when will this end. The world is full of money, full of money. She goes out unprotected. She doesn't listen to her best friend. It's only for the money, for the money, for the money.
The harmony doesn't resolve, does it? It's a really thank you for this dinner. It's a really intriguing harmony.
Wanna be respected. Reality's her best friend. She needs the extra money, extra money. In the city, the town, and the household, so many things go unreported. So many things her eyes have seen, eyes have seen, eyes have seen. Meet me in the hotel lobby. Everybody's looking lonely. Watch me as I walk in slowly. Watch me find it's in the mirrors of the hotel lobby.
And that sound design thing's going to the side like that's kind of dope.
What she expected. Her hopes they stretch and they bend. Wrinkle like paper money, paper money. In the city, the town, and the household, so many things can be distorted. So if you want a true life story, bring the money, bring the money. Meet me in the hotel lobby. Everybody's looking lonely.
It's a beautiful synth motif for sure. Just trying to make sense of everything else. This is her Strange album. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. Thank you to Dinahe for requesting this track from an ex named Hikaru Utada titled Exodus. How do I approach this? I think that, like, if I look at the individual components, I look through these lyrics. This album didn't sell very well because this is targeted to Western audiences, but apparently not much people know her there, and Japanese don't really like it comparing to their older album. I can kind of understand where they might have been going with trying to sort of like reach a different audience. I feel like there is an inherent catchiness to the vocal melodies to this, and I appreciate the way we kind of swing those words, and I like the way we kind of handle just clearly the vocal technique solid and everything like that within this as well. There's nothing inherently kind of like unusual about the way we're singing. The story is a little bit kind of, I mean, it made me at the hotel lobby, everyone's looking lonely, watch me as I'm walking slowly. Is it like, are we finding someone there to be with? Is everyone looking lonely until we walk in? Are we waiting in the mirrors of the hotel lobby? Are we looking at ourselves when we walk in? Her hopes they stretch and they bend. Is the hotel lobby the town? Were they going to the big city to try and find something? I feel like she's unprotected. So is it basically she feels like she's been trapped inside this town in this hotel lobby and she can't escape? This story makes me wonder and think, and I kind of like the fact that I'm not sure what's going on. But I just maybe just need more time with it. Sometimes I get review brain as well. I get overwhelmed by stuff, but I think if we kind of look away from the vocals, which are done well, I like the vocal melodies within this. I think they make sense and they're catchy and they work well with a lot of what's going on with the drums, bass, synths, and pads and all that. There's like different concepts. Like, I mean, the drums work really well. I appreciate the groove on those, working with those eighth notes and stuff like that, as well as those occasional 16ths. The synth there's like a pleasant, fragrant synth motif on top there, has great sense of groove to it. It dances around there and it works well with what's going on rhythmically with the vocals and the chorus sections, especially there. There's like a kind of like pad sound in the background, which kind of sounds a bit kind of Moorish, and it does niche well. In the earlier stages though, especially with some of those elements, like if I go back a little bit, like there's kind of like very blunt bass synths there and some sort of hand drums and stuff like that, which are kind of, yeah, we kind of go away from those hand drums later on, don't we? I think it establishes a different aesthetic at the start. Maybe we come from somewhere more sort of exotic to come to this hotel part. I'm not quite sure. It's a good effort. It's definitely very creative, and I appreciate a lot of what we're trying to accomplish here. I just don't know if it did necessarily made sense compositionally from start. Like it did though, because like the notes were in the same similar key sig and everything. It's just that it didn't resolve. So closing thoughts on this before I move on. I think part of the reason why I think this works is simply because it seems like we didn't get the resolution, the ending to the story that we wanted within this. Catch me because I think I'm falling. Are we waiting in the mirrors of the hotel lobby? It doesn't sound like a necessarily happy ending. So I think maybe the lack of resolution and the harmonies there at the end is kind of meant to infer that we didn't get a happy ending. And the music's trying to represent that. I think the studio production and stuff like that's pretty well handled, though, to be fair. And there was stuff that moves to the side of the stereo field, a bit of automation of the panning, which was kind of dope. Yeah, I think I'd need to listen to more of this album to get context. But thank you to Dinahe for Blue Dinner Box putting this through. Yeah, that's cool though. I think it's good for musicians to try different things. I think if you are risk averse as a musician, it can be very difficult because you come to a stage where you kind of just get stuck, you know? And we don't want that. We don't want to get stuck when we do stuff. We want to be able to have the freedom to be able to do what we need to do and make it work. Now, this is from BM for Life. go. So this is 4. 4 here. So thank you, Being for Life. This next one's for you. It's sort of experimental, but I'm not sure if it's a good thing. Yeah, I get that. I get that maybe too much experimentalism can be bad, and especially if you're like an artist who is coming up, it can be difficult to take those risks. But I think the only way that we grow as musicians is often by doing that. We kind of have to try different things. Thank you, Being for Life. I appreciate that. This will be cool. I like this. Let's do it. I've been seeing this song a lot on YouTube, and YouTube tries to recommend it to me. Flying Beagles. Yeah, the bass line is pretty sick, isn't it? I think giving these great alternate lead pads though are fantastic. It doesn't need vocals when it's this busy, right? Oh, those keys, man. Oh, that octave bass line, that was tremendous, dude. Woo! And the trumpets as well, the brass, man. Whew. Oh, the bell trees with the keys, man. I mean, It's just tremendous, dude. I mean, that's an absolute masterpiece. That was a wonderful song. Thank you, BM for Life, for suggesting this this review of this track from an act named Himiko Kikuchi. This is titled "Flying Beagles." Wonderful piece of music there. This was, you know, it's an instrumental piece, but you don't need vocals in a song like this. There's so many interesting elements going on throughout it that it never sleeps. It's never just sitting there. You can just get lost in the music, as BM for Life says. It's just awe inspiring, dude. The level of skill, talent, creativity required to make something like this work, and just the tightness of the performance required to get this to sort of like flow like it does across the different instrumentalists involved is just sensational. It's through composed. You have a main riff or a couple of different riffs that you go back to, but it's very free flowing. And I just want to sort of talk about a few of my favorite instruments within this piece, and kind of give an overall thought, I suppose, on what the main theme kind of represents. The bass line with a mixture of different sort of funky muted and kind of octave slap pop parts, just wonderful. Dude, the variation in the bass flow there, moving between those octaves, getting into the middle of the range there, fretboard rise there, plenty of space in the low end. Fantastic work niching with the drum grooves there, but it's also just that had its own personality and sense of identity within the mix as well. Like there are different ideas there, and just when you think, how can I possibly do this, kind of keep things sounding fresh with the bass line, they do a new thing, and then they do a new thing, and it just there's this constant fun stuff happening on the bass line alone. That is not including the guitar parts, which relatively here, I think the guitar parts are relatively conservative for the most part, if I'm not mistaken there. I could be confusing some of the guitar parts with the key bits there, because there's like an extended key solo in that bit section, which was also absolutely tremendous. But like the guitars were lovely and supportive in their mid-range with the extensions on those chords. They're great sort of chime and shimmer to those. They're allowing instruments like the bass to have their own identity by not suffocating them, by being nicely niched. The drum lines there, great sense of pace with some of the on and off beat sort of cymbal grooves, the kicks and snares, etc. Like great sort of sense of flow there. Great rhythmic unity when we had some stops and some sort of offbeat kind of pauses, and we had things in time there, and things were, and it was great sort of like synergy with the bass lines as well, which were cool there with the ghost notes and sort of accents revolving around that there. The keys there, wonderful phrasing of those right hand sort of lead passages throughout the entirety of that middle to late section there. We had a fantastic movement of different sort of scales and modal shapes there, interesting chromatic patterns as well. They're incredibly fragrant there, sounded just a fantastic alternate voice in the mix. And it wasn't just the dedicated patterns there and the different rhythms and stuff like that. There were all these different lead voicings throughout the entirety of the track. I mean, but they never felt like too much. We never overplayed there. And even when we'd already had established motifs like earlier on, we repeated them and had further lead lines on top of that from another instrument. They were building. It wasn't trying to make another solo section. It was still the same motif, but just a bit more. And so there was a great sort of like understanding of how much to push stuff, when to sort of take stuff back. But like we had like beltries, and then we also had the brass there, fantastic tone to the trumpets and all that kind of stuff as well. They were perky and gorgeous, and they just a tight actual recording of those instruments. And it's Flying Beagles, man. It's the most fun I've had with beagles, and I to be fair, beagles are pretty cute. Beagles are, but it's like playful like a beagle. It's a fun song. It's wonderfully written. It's just that big band aesthetic there with all the instrumentalists getting a turn. Wonderful chemistry, not a note out of place within the performance, and absolute masterstroke. So thank you, BM for Life, putting that forward. Had a great time with it. Phenomenal soloing there. It's an example of how to do things and not overplay. They pocketed when they need to, but then also they played the hell out of their instruments when they had the chance. It was awesome. Awesome song, dude. So we got 3 more to go, though. This next one is from Shen Yida. So what's this? Yeah, absolutely. Good since 1987. There was a lot of phenomenal music back in the day, man. There was just this tone to music back in the 80s, dude. Like, it sounded like a movie soundtrack. It's like the way they used to mix and master stuff. They didn't try to oversaturate it. There was like, I don't know, there was just something really kind of gorgeous about it, like that old school nostalgia for that tone. It kind of had a kind of a vinyl aesthetic to it, if that makes sense. And if that's not sort of like being a bit kind of weird about it. But 3 more to go. This is 9MA8 with Friend Zone Live in Brussels. So this is Shen Yida here. Thank you, Shen Yida. Here we go. Let's go.
And the next song, the last song, which is Friend Zone. Maybe you have someone you like and you don't want to stay in his or her friend zone. This song is for you. Okay.
Aww.
我拉累太多了。I don't know if you care about me. I don't know if you ever think about it.
Interesting tone to the guitar.
Makes everything so right. There's something in your eyes you cannot hide. I can feel the tide. We're gonna touch the sky. All I know about is I don't wanna be in the friend zone. No, I don't know. I don't wanna be in a friend zone. No, I don't know. 你说话像在绕着圈圈打转，但我从来不想只做你的朋友。如果暧昧的香味气息溢满，甜的滋味酸的期待，敢不敢吹风我的爱？快就快，天气像个孩子不讲道理，不服气被吹散了落叶一地，满街都是冷冷的空气。爱情不过是场无病呻吟，如果可以云淡风轻，怪这天气不如先怪自己。
Just want to like quickly mention, I appreciate how we're seeing shots of the lady outside of the performance there. It shows the kind of raw experience of the musicians singing this. They might seem really sort of like totally up for it on stage, but behind the scenes they're just as human as the rest of us. I think it makes it more approachable. It's a good example of a well-made music video.
You what they can't see. I've been trying just to hold.
Oh, great major lift there.
Take a look at my way. Don't try to escape. I think we feel the same. Oh, I know that is I don't wanna be in the friend zone. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't wanna be in the friend zone. No, I don't know. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be. I don't wanna be in your friend zone.
Interesting.
Merci beaucoup. Up next.
Okay, that was an interesting live performance. Thank you to Shin Yuda for putting this through. This was from 9MA8, titled Friend Zone Live in Brussels featuring Edisong. What is it about? I mean, like, clearly they were talking about the fact that it was about being in someone's friend zone and, like, not wanting them not wanting to be in that place. Like, you're wondering if they think about you as more than that. You're wondering how they actually see you. You're trying to look for an opening, that kind of aesthetic to it. And I think that it's sung really well. We had a lot of different ideas for how to approach it. The guitar lines were relatively consistent with the fingerstyle throughout there. It was a great accompaniment with the jazzy chord progressions and stuff like that. And we did match the parallel majors we had occasionally from the singer. We were relatively kind of like, we were very supportive in that regard there. We had a great sense of chemistry and connection to what the singer was doing with their voice there. The song had its ups and downs there. There's a bit of dynamic range to it, but the singer was the focal point. And we tried a lot of different vocal runs and different sort of like more different rhythms with the way we sang the different lines. And I think for the most part, they pulled off. There were a few note choices I was like, did we necessarily need to have that kind of conflict there or contrast there? Did we necessarily need to have that note? Did it benefit? But I suppose it was like the twos and throws of going through the situation that you're in with this person in the first place, you know, and to sort of demonstrate the complexity of the situation, that it's not just black and white. That you really want to keep that relationship to someone, and you're kind of maybe concerned, for example, that if you do this or do that, there could be consequences either way. I mean, regardless, I think that it's an interesting performance. Clearly, the singer can sing, and clearly the guitarist can play. And I think that the chords used by the guitarist illustrate the complexity of the situation well there. The tone of the guitar is more kind of low key and down tempo, and it's not trying to be sort of up in your face and too energetic there. It's kind of a calm sort of commiseration for what they're going through, which I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate to. And I appreciate why people like the song. They did incredibly well with the performance, so it was very authentic, and I appreciate my chance to listen to it. So thank you to Shin Yu-Da for putting this forward. It was a great tune. It was a great live performance. We've got two more after this, and I think these are from Paul. Yes, we've got two more from Paul7931, so that's dope. Thank you, Paul, for those. We're going to go here, Paul. Thanks for your requests. Yes, these last two are from Paul. And who do we have? We have the first of the last two tracks. And I've got to get into a habit. So let's do this. So when I put in a song from Ko-fi, I do both the YouTube chat thingy, and then I also do the list thingy. Then I add the song if there is a song. Then I go, and put the thing up here. So yeah, this request is from Paul7931. Thank you very much. It is titled, what is it titled? It's not that one, but that was the last one. Wilderness Cooperative, God's Will. Get the art here, off of the Bullseye album. Oh, that's brutal, dude. Low key with the vocals, that's kind of cool. Great use of the organs, actually. It almost sounds like a boss battle or something. Oh, that stop with that kick though, nice.
命，有人掌管爱情，有人掌管悲伤。神的合唱队从来不知道，不是你想参加就可以参加。不同的神有不同的安排，不同的安排都为你安排。
It's just a groovy guitar riff, though, right? Ah, fantastic old lead. Are we fading out this early? Damn, man. Excellent. And what's happening next? That was cool. No, thank you. That was Wilderness Cooperative, God's Will. What do we think that track was about? I liked the rock and roll aesthetic to it. Kind of like blah blah. That wasn't words. I liked the rock and roll aesthetic to it. I appreciated the sound of the guitars, bass, and drums, and the occasional organs there. I'm not sure what the track was about, but the organs gave me this sort of spiritual element of like there was some sort of ritual or something like going on. And we were either kind of celebrating or kind of celebrating that God's will or like what was about to come down on us, or we were kind of showing a particular feeling for what the consequences of those were. I'm not sure either way. The vocal style was interesting. I liked the kind of the tone of the vocals there. I think that there is a mystery to what the song's about, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to take while the words that came through were meant to be sung. But either way, I appreciate the technique of that, and I think that it was a really sort of great addition to the track there. I think that we niched really well with what was going on with the guitar, bass, drums, and organs and stuff. Not that one. It was this one, right? Yeah. Yeah, like it was like low key and stuff like that with the delivery. We weren't too sort of over the top with it. It's got a similar like delivery to other bands I've reviewed in the past, like Omnipotent Youth Society and stuff like that. We only kind of get really intense occasionally. It's almost like we're kind of sort of done with it in a sense, or we're trying to have a calm conversation about it. But the distorted guitar is so kind of like in your face and kind of like spicy. The riffs we had, oh yeah, da down, bow bow, those guitar riffs there, have a great sort of like bit of spice to them, a bit of razzle dazzle because of the note choices there, working with the bluesy parts, but also they're just really clear in the mix amongst the bass and drum parts there, which kind of propel things forward there. There was a great sort of like cleaner kind of like chorusy tone to the guitars as well, in the low key bits, and they sort of like the A B part we're kind of got going on there works quite neatly as well. With the organs, the sort of like freshness in the mid to upper range there, the sound that makes it seem sort of again a bit more otherworldly there. It kind of seems like it's elevating it or lifting it up in a weird way, like we're sort of like talking to a higher power or something like that. The mixing and mastering of the recording, the actual quality of it is fantastic there. We had a great performance across the instruments there with the note out of place. And I think the solo sections, what we had later on, was a nice alternate lead foil there. I appreciate the fact that in a 4-minute track, you do sometimes need something a little bit kind of extra to kind of get us over that 4-minute line. We had that there, even though we had a fade out near the end and we had a bit of intrigue going on to the next track. I will, before I move on, say that I really appreciated The fact that the track went into a fader and then a new song started after that, it kind of helps to tie an album together when you start the next track and at the end of the one before it, because you go, oh, what's that? And then boom, next track, 2 minutes, and then boom. And just if you have each song stop and start, it can be kind of blunt transitions. Whereas again, the transitory parts help. So that's cool as well. A sense of mystique and intrigue to this, well thought out. Great track, man. But yeah, no, I like the bluesy pentatonic phrasings there with the lead solos. They worked well with the other sort of established elements in the composition. And yeah, altogether, sounded like a great sort of combination of elements there. This is a good song. So thank you very much to Paul for that. We have one more track, though, today from Paul. And what is this one here? This is on YouTube. And what is it? It is... Hey, it's David Tao featuring Aylin. Nice. I was wondering if we were going to get Aylin after what we were talking about before. Considering how we feel about Aylin and their voice. Good to hear a bit more David Tao as well. Thank you, Paul7931, for this request as well. Oh, they look like having such fun. That is a scary looking face, man. It's not that I think that, that might be, is that David's face, the silver one? It's not that I think David's face is scary. It's that just out of context, the big face on the screen is a bit scary, but that's okay. David Tao and Alan, nice. It's full of joy, isn't it? Great chemistry between us two as well.
Yeah. 有你在，我还需要找自己吗？
还是要找。
躲在我的屋檐下面哦，睡在我的被单里面哦，听着细雨滴滴答答，滴滴答答，滴滴答答。
Hey. Rain? Excellent. Well done. Oh, that bell at the end gave me chills, man. Yay! That was a fantastic choice. Paul7931 says, I didn't want to recommend the song before, but I think it's suitable for today's ending song. Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Shinyuda says, I love that they sing the song Best Friends together. Unfortunately, there are no audio files. I assume that you're meaning that there's no like actual releases of the track outside of the concert, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I can. That is a shame, but I'm glad that we have it on YouTube. But what do I think this track is about? Honestly, like, even though I don't necessarily understand the words, I think that this is about them, Alan and David Tao singing about being best friends. And I think there's a sense of joy with the track as a whole, especially the vocals, though. Like, they feed off each other so well. There is such incredible chemistry between the musicians involved. The singers, just the way that they give each other a verse, they give each other a moment to shine. They don't try and sort of like outplay each other. They work together to elevate the experience is phenomenal. There's a bit of playfulness there, a bit of stage presence there, working with like each other, kind of like interacting with each other, having a bit of fun on stage there. The ending where they just kind of like, again, that David Tao holds that note for a long time. They both got incredible vocal technique, right? I feel like that's like, it's so blatant at this point. They're both great singers. But they underplay and then kind of give it their all for a moment, and then they kind of close out, and it's just about everyone having fun. So I think that the vocal melodies and harmonies we had there worked incredibly well, effortless through the piece. Great chemistry between the singers on stage, and overall they just are really phenomenal kind of icing on the cake for the rest of the track itself, which is awesome. There's like various sort of guitar, bass, drum, and key passages there. There's some like honky tonkish kind of piano stuff going on throughout there. Great work with the right hand, the arpeggiated stuff there. Left hand backing up the bass notes. A bass line there kind of reinforcing what's going on. The low end there working well with the sense of groove with the 8th note and 16th note patterns on the drum kit. There was some interesting snare and tom fills there, but ultimately just sort of pocketing to allow more space for what's going on with Alan as well as David Tao. And the guitar there as well that we had there. The guitar was relatively low key. I heard like it was a clean guitar, like strummed guitar, because I think that'd suit the mood quite well if that was the case. Clearly the focal point for this track was Alan David Tao. But I just wanted to give a shout out to the chord progressions and stuff mentioned throughout here. The guitar and keys playing arguably equal importance within this piece to kind of move things forward in a way that was quite pleasurable throughout. So I think that the individual instruments within the mix niched quite well together. The transitions between like kind of verse and chorus sections and stuff like that were great. And it was just a really pleasant overall motif with lots of major stuff going on there. There was no kind of dark edges or harsh parts to the tones or textures within the track. It was just really positive. And I think that is, again, it's a great way to end the stream, but it's also just a really positive way to finish like a concert. They had fun together. The studio recording, mixing, and mastering was absolutely tight. Great sort of like control of things across the frequency spectrum. I don't think that we needed an alternate lead there. We already had two really wonderful singers on stage there, so I think having an alternate lead instrument might have been a bit too much. Yeah, awesome. Thank you to Paul7931 for that request as well as for your other requests. So we're about to have the conclusion because it is the end of today's live stream. Who did we have tracks from today? We had tracks from Jacob Good, Shen Yudar, Paul7931, Shen Yudar, and Dinner Hay, as well as BM for Life. And thank you to everyone for your requests. I had a great time with these tracks, and hopefully you had a great time listening to them. Thanks to those of you who did request, and thanks to those of you who just came to hang out. I think we'll have another one of these in a couple of days' time. And remember, if you're an SP patron, please submit your requests so that I can do them. I'm through most of them at this point, but there might be a few I need to do. And if you haven't submitted, please do put one through. Just message me. Don't worry, we have time to do it before the end of the month. It'll be okay. But yeah, I just need to know. Stay cool, stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. I'll catch you in a few days' time for another one of these live streams if you're there. If you're not, either way, have a great day. And yeah, Spider Hands out. 3, 2, 1.